Hello and welcome to another planning appeal case study video. I'm John Peters, and in this video I'm going to explain how we overcame a recent refusal by Caerphilly Council for one of our clients. This planning appeal was to overcome the refusal for a part retrospective raised decking forward of the principal elevation that was refused by the local authority Caerphilly Planning Department. Our client was initially booked in for a free no obligation consultation to run through the refusal reasons that had been used by Caerphilly Council and to evaluate if an appeal was viable or if an alternative option would be best suited for them. The free no obligation consultation, which took around 25 minutes, found that this case was viable for appeal to the Planning Inspectorate, taking the decision process away from Caerphilly Council Planning Department. This case was refused by Caerphilly Council for the following reasons. The proposed development, by virtue of its disproportionate size and location forward of the principal elevation, will result in a structure that competes visually with the host dwelling and forms an incongruous addition within the street scene. As such, it cannot be seen to have regard to the context of the local built environment and does not exhibit a high standard of design that reinforces attractive qualities of local distinctiveness. Now, we see a lot of retrospective refusals that are questionable, especially as the rules state they should be considered the same as a non-retrospective application. The inspector stated the following in the appeal decision. The appeal site comprises a detached dwelling situated on a corner plot at the end of a residential street. The property fronts homely to the south Park Place to the east. The site, along with neighbouring properties to the north of Homely, are situated at a higher level than the street. The design and layout of the front gardens of the properties in the street are mixed. Some have sloping, soft landscaping, while others are tiered with hard landscaping. Notwithstanding the above, the result of the topography of the area, the site's corner position and the siting of the decking, it is clearly visible when approaching the junction from Park Place to the south. The decking appears at the highest at this point, with the side structure visible above the existing boundary wall. However, at this location, the side structure of the decking is not out of keeping alongside the block wall with the hedgerows above which dominate the Park Place. The decking has been positioned so it is set back slightly from the front and the side boundary wall to enable additional shrubs and planting between the decking and the road, which would soften the appearance and blend the structure into the street scene. The development has been designed appropriately and responds to the site context in its corner position by retaining an open element facing Homely, which the taller part of the structure adjacent to the higher boundaries on the Park Place. As a result, it reinforces the attractiveness and distinctiveness qualities of each elevation and the surrounding built environment. When travelling eastbound on Homely, the decking is not a prominent feature due to it being situated at a similar level to the existing ground level. Furthermore, although there are no properties with raised decking areas facing the street in the immediate vicinity of the site, there is sufficient variation in the existing street scene so that the decking does not appear conspicuous from Homely. Similarly, when travelling southbound on Park Place, neither the dwelling nor the decking are noticeable due to the existing landscaping. From this planning inspector's report in the appeal decision, you can clearly see that the planning inspector has taken time to fully assess the case, coming at the development from various angles and sight lines. If only local authority planning officers had time to do the same. You will hear later on in relation to the appeal statement about how important it is to really deep dive into the detail, enabling planning inspectors to consider detailed arguments. Simply producing a couple of page appeal is not covering in-depth detail and argument and will not get the results you want. Many of you who have similar refusals are repeatedly stating to us that you've had little or no correspondence throughout the application process, and the first thing you knew was receiving a refusal notice from the council, in some cases when you received a letter from ourselves. We completely understand that the planning process can be very frustrating, the costs involved, the time it takes and so on, but do remember we deal with this on a daily basis for others just like yourself. With planning appeals, experience matters, and our specialist team, who handle over 2.5% of all planning appeals in England and Wales that are currently produced and submitted, start by producing a comprehensive and robust appeal statement that in this specific case covers 19 pages and just over 3,000 words. It's important to detail in the appeal statement where the local authority failed in their assessment of the case and how, where possible, both local and national policy applies in favour of the appeal. Additionally, if possible, bringing in similar cases that the Planning Inspectorate found in favour of at appeal. Obviously, with the back catalogue we have of wins, we're able to use these cases and what the inspector said in them as additional argument to support the case we're working on. Once the appeal statement is completed, we send the document to our client asking them to check that they are happy for us to submit the case. If we need to add any additional information that the client may have forgotten previously to supply, it's done at this point and the case is then submitted. It is vitally important that all the documents and responses are submitted on time throughout the process, as failure to do so will result in the appeal not being successful, something we hear about often when people attempt an appeal for the first time. Always ensure you use a professional who has considerable experience of appeals. It is worth asking them for some recent successful planning appeal case studies, like you find on our website. Due to the large number of cases we represent, we have a dedicated team that liaises with the Planning Inspectorate on a daily basis. For this appeal, an independent planning inspector from the Planning Inspectorate visited the site on the 19th of November, and we're pleased to confirm the appeal was upheld and permission granted on the 3rd of December in a 3-page appeal decision notice. If you'd like to find out if we can help you with your planning appeal, complete our online form on our website www.planningappealsuk.com, and our new case support team will arrange for a free, no obligation consultation with one of our planning appeal assessment professionals. Thank you for taking the time to watch this planning appeal case study video, and I look forward to producing another one very shortly. Bye for now.